Hello friends, welcome back to the Spice or Dice channel. In today's video I'm wanting to talk about the benefits of intermittent fasting and what exactly it is. So let's get right down to it, shall we? So I personally feel like this diet is easy, it's convenient, it is a good way to burn off excess body fat and not as restrictive as other diets that are out there. So what exactly is intermittent fasting, right? Because, some people might not even know what fasting is. So intermittent fasting, at least what I'm talking about, is where you don't consume calories or carbohydrates or any of that, good stuff for 16 hours, and then you have an 8-hour window where you do consume your daily nutrition and your calorie intake and all your vitamins and minerals and everything that you need to keep your body healthy and keep on going down the old road. Within your 16-hour window, you can drink beverages like water, black coffee, and unsweetened tea, or any other drinks that have like 0 calories and no carbohydrates. And you do want to keep yourself hydrated during this. So make sure you drink a lot of fluids. So drinking fluids will help you control your appetite during these intermittent fasting periods of where you are not eating any food. So definitely keep yourself hydrated. The whole point of intermittent fasting is to, not eat for 16 hours, but after the 12-hour window, your body starts this process called ketosis. And ketosis is when your body uses stored body fat as energy instead of using carbohydrates as energy. So it is a beneficial diet if you are trying to lose weight, and you can't just do intermittent fasting and expect to lose weight. You still need to make sure that you're counting your calories, not drinking super sugary drinks or eating lots of processed foods. Now you can do this every day if you like. That is usually the normal process. You can just try it every couple of days if you really want to try it like that, but you will not have as many benefits, and it might be a little harder for you to get into the routine of doing it. There are a few other options of fasting that you can try. I personally do not want to try these, or probably not going to, because I do not think I have that mental strength. So the other one that I'm talking about is where you eat normally for 5 days, but in 2 of those days within the week, and definitely separate these out, because it could be potentially hazardous if you really don't know what you're doing and not get in like your body, the amount of fat in your body. But so basically the other fasting is where you don't eat for 2 days and you eat normally for 5 days. I do not want to try that. I feel like that is very hard and complicated, and I prefer intermittent fasting. It still gives you all the good benefits, and it is just a lot easier to sustain. So the main reason that I wanted to start intermittent fasting is, it's a diet plan. So one of the top benefits is losing weight a little bit faster and really diving into that body weight fat that you want to get rid of. There are a few other benefits to this, like reducing your blood sugar levels, reducing your insulin levels, and kind of combating diabetes type 2. This is obviously something, that you still need to restrict and monitor what you eat and drink. Sugary drinks is probably about the #1 leading cause of type 2 diabetes, because one can of Mountain Dew probably has about like 48 grams of sugar, and that's about at least half of your sugar intake throughout the day in just one little can. Definitely, this diet can help you, but just make sure you're monitoring what you eat. Other things that this can help you with is, it enhances focus, it increases cognitive abilities, it can reduce stress and inflammation in your body. This also increases cellular repair, which cellular repair is basically just your cells fighting off bad things in your cells and waste materials. A few other benefits is that, it increases disease resistance. So like makes you so your body doesn't get as sick, or helps fight off diseases. It can be beneficial for your health, for your heart. It can even help prevent cancer from forming. And that study is still like in the progress of being studied by experts, but in some cases it has helped. It can also help prevent Alzheimer's disease, and it may even help you live longer. So there are a lot of good benefits to intermittent fasting, and there still needs to be a lot more studies about this, but since it's popular and kind of new in our time era, just needs more studies. Now those are all the good benefits you can get from it, but there are also short-term physical symptoms. When you first start this diet, the short-term physical symptoms could be, you start feeling a little bit more hungry during the day. It's perfectly normal. Your body isn't really used to this. You might feel a little weak, or you might feel a little bit more tired, especially if you're trying to work out. But as you continue to do this daily routine, your body does get used to it, and it just gets easier, and you almost hardly start noticing it. Now, one of the ways to combat the appetite is to make sure that you're drinking a lot of water or black coffee or even tea. Now, these unsweetened drinks and no calories in them you are perfectly able to drink them during your intermittent fasting times. Now, it might be a little bit hard when you first start out, but that's okay. You just gotta think you can always restart, and you gotta think to yourself, like practice with practice, comes perfection, and you're not going to be super great at anything that you just first start out doing. So, don't feel bad about yourself if you do start having some drawbacks, or if you think that you messed up your times and you're just really hungry and can't go to sleep, go ahead and go eat some little bit of food. It's not going to kill you. You can always restart tomorrow and see how your next day starts. It's kind of experimental process, and not everything that might work for me will work for you. But with my times, what I do is I break my fast at 11 a.m. and then my eating window is between 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And that's just so like when I go to sleep at night, I'm not feeling hungry, and in the morning I am not like super starving. So it's just a diet thing that works for me. Not everyone's going to be okay with this diet plan, but you just got to try different things and see what works out for you. If you do start feeling really weak, or you start feeling sick, it is a good idea to consult with your doctor just to make sure that you're not hurting yourself. And an expert's advice is always beneficial to have in pretty much any area of your life, especially when it comes to health. Doctors do that for a living, and they actually care about your well-being. Otherwise, I don't think they would have been chose to be doctors. Now, a few things to remember is that your body does need nutrients throughout the day. So just make sure that you are getting the right amounts of nutrients for your body. And it is very important to count your calories, because within that time window it is easy to overconsume food, and if you're doing that, then it's not going to be beneficial for this intermittent fasting diet. So just count your calories and make sure that it's still a restrictive amount of calories. Now, while you are doing this fasting diet, there is a few foods that you want to make sure to continuously consume And like usual, that is whole foods. You want to have a lot of whole foods in your diet, and you do not want to be drinking a lot of sugary pop, and you do not want to be eating a whole lot of processed foods like, packaged foods, deep fried foods, sugary drinks, sugary cookies. There's quite a few different alternatives that you can eat instead of these foods. So what are the best foods to break your fasting? Because, after that 16-hour window, you are going to be pretty hungry and you're going to want to eat. So what are some foods that you do want to eat now to break your fast? And these are very important, because if you don't eat the right foods, like, if you break your fast with like a bag of chips, your insulin level is going to shoot through the roof, and so are your blood sugar levels. And you don't want to break a fast with a sugary drink. You want to break it slowly with easily consumed foods, digestive foods. And these foods are, you want to eat like yogurt and smoothies. You want to eat whole foods. You want to eat nuts. You want to eat soup that's not creamy. You can eat eggs. You can eat avocados. And you can eat other whole foods. So make sure you don't break your fast with food that is loaded in sodium, or high processed foods, or frozen meals. You want to make sure that you do it the correct way, just so you can get all those healthy benefits from it. So this diet, I felt like, was pretty easy for me to implement into my life. I didn't really have to change a whole lot of bad food habits, because I already kind of changed them. I cut sugary drinks out of my diet. I don't really eat a whole lot of processed foods anymore. If I do, it's kind of just on the cheat day, and I do not overconsume on it. I started my weight loss journey about 6 months ago, and so far I've lost 30 pounds overall, and that is also why I've been gaining muscle. So I've probably lost quite a bit more of body fat. You can actually see my veins now, and before you could not see my veins really at all, I want to say, but now they are very prominent. So that just shows you that I have a low BMI, body mass index, and that I keep myself healthy and I stay hydrated. Now, besides just intermittent fasting, there is another thing that I do, and that, I calculate my calorie intake using an app called MyFitnessPal. And if you do not have this yet, I feel like it is very nice to have. It is easy to count your calories and restrict the amount of food you're getting, all while being able to count your macros in a super easy way. So if you don't have this app yet and you're trying to lose your body weight and body fat, I highly recommend this app, just to put in there, just as another thing that you're using to get to your goal. So with intermittent fasting, you do get to the point where, at least I got to the point where I've never felt really better about myself. I have increased focus. I feel like I have increased memory. My cognitive abilities work a lot better. I am a lot more confident than I used to be. And yeah, but just make sure, just because it works for me doesn't always mean that it might work for someone else. You just gotta experiment and see what else is out there, and you might find the perfect fit for you. Maybe that's just like having a low carb diet, like the keto diet. I don't really know a whole lot about that, but I know personally I do like enjoying my carbohydrates in my body, in my system. So that is just not a great diet for me to try. But anyways, thank you for watching this video. I know it's been a long one, but I hope you got a little bit of information out of this, and I hope you enjoyed my video. So see you next time. Peace.